What is up, YouTube? It's Rules for Rebels here, and what we're looking at here is my video, how I do 250,000 a month selling Alibaba and AliExpress products on eBay and Amazon. This video here was probably one of my most popular videos ever. It's been shared in a lot of, what do they call those, video lists and things like that. And I get a ton of questions, even though I published this video quite a while ago. Let's see, when was this published? Probably almost a year ago. I still get tons of comments. A lot of them are kind of the same comments over and over again. But I realized I maybe wasn't as clear as I should have been in some of these areas. And I noticed that a lot of you guys had some follow-up questions about things with this video. So I do tend to respond to all my questions. If you ask me a question and it's not caught by the spam filter, I try to respond to all comments. I do respond to all your comments, but I wanted to take a second to pick out some comments, and I actually picked out quite a few, so this is probably going to be a long video, but I picked out about 60 comments. I wanted to respond to them. Some of these responses will probably be a little bit longer than others, and some I'll just kind of breeze through as there's a lot of kind of carryover between questions and comments and things like that. And where relevant, I will pull up some web pages and show you guys some screenshots and things like that as well. So, like I said, we got about 60 different comments here, and let's get into it. So first, do you ask the seller on AliExpress directly to put a brand on your product? Typically, AliExpress is not where you private label an item. That is more something for Alibaba. Basically, I have a really good video titled Alibaba versus AliExpress. And I could kind of go into the differences of AliExpress versus Alibaba and which one is going to be better for your situation. Just to give you guys a quick rundown, AliExpress is technically a retail site. It's business to consumer, basically. So not a lot of people in the USA necessarily know about AliExpress. Not a lot of people in the USA order from AliExpress. But like AliExpress is huge in Russia. People in Russia can't order off eBay or Amazon, I believe. So they go to a site like AliExpress. AliExpress has some great deals. If you notice, like on those crazy road rage videos and things like that, it seems like every Russian person has a dash cam. Most of them, or a lot of them, probably buy them off AliExpress. A lot of people in Russia buy their GoPros and things like that off AliExpress. So AliExpress, though technically business to consumer, the prices are low enough that you can also buy it to resell and still make a profit. Alibaba is actually where you want to go if you want to order higher or larger order quantities. And basically, to private label, you typically need to order larger order quantities. So the reason I recommend AliExpress in this video is because AliExpress makes the process really simple. You're able to pay with your credit card. There's a review system and a rating system. There's actually a shopping cart. Prices are actually listed. So if you go on AliExpress and buy something, it's typically free shipping. It's going to be delivered directly to your door. You don't have to deal with customs or freight forwarders or anything like that. You're not having to send Western Union or MoneyGram or bank wires. You can pay right with a credit card. So even if you are scammed, which isn't likely to happen since AliExpress has a very strong buyer protection program, even if you are scammed, you still have the ability to do a credit card chargeback. AliExpress also allows you to order in smaller order quantities. So for people who are brand new to importing or brand new to e-commerce, I recommend AliExpress because AliExpress really kind of dumbs down the process and makes it a lot simpler. Once you get some experience over your belt, you can then move over to Alibaba. That's where you're going to order larger MOQs or minimum order quantities. You're going to get a lot better pricing. So an example of the paracord bracelet, I think on AliExpress right now, the cheapest one I found is like 70 cents, which still leaves you plenty of room to make money. But if you were to go over to Alibaba, you could probably find these paracord bracelets for like 16 or 17 cents. So, it doesn't seem like a lot, 17 cents to 70 cents, big deal. They're both cheap. But I mean, it's 3 times cheaper. So it's going to, as you do quantity, you're going to be making 3 times as much money essentially. So AliExpress isn't really the place to do private labeling. Some sellers on AliExpress will private label items for you or will do custom packaging. One kind of shortcut to private labeling, a lot of people aren't ready to order 1,000 pieces of inventory. Maybe they only want to order 10 or 20 or 50 pieces of inventory. Well, what you can do, you can go to AliExpress and buy generic products. You then go to a site like, let me show you guys here, design custom packaging. Let's see here, pack lane. basically, I forget. I got a couple boxes saved in my favorites, but basically, you can. Okay, what kind of package do I want? Maybe I'm selling, I don't know, a face lotion or whatever. Okay, maybe I pick a box like this. Now I can customize the box. I can change the colors. I can put my logo on it, and this is surprisingly cheap. You can get, if you are truly private labeling, your suppliers in China can do this for you, but you can also get this done in the States very cheaply. These prices here are kind of high. If anybody's interested, and I can actually recommend the sites that I've used in the past, but I think I was getting boxes for like 8 cents, 10 cents a piece, with custom logos and things like that on them. So one kind of shortcut to private labeling, let's say you only want to order 20 pieces of inventory and nobody's willing to private label that for you. Well, you order the generic inventory, you then go to a custom packaging site, make a fancy box, feature that box in your Amazon picture on your Amazon ad or on your eBay ad. So that way when customers order your product, they're expecting to get it in that custom box. So any people who are trying to, quote unquote, piggyback off your listings, or hop on your listings, when customers see things showing up in a poly bag and not your custom box, they're going to know they didn't order it from the original seller, and there's a good chance they're going to complain to Amazon. So that's kind of a shortcut to private labeling. Once you start selling and can order larger order quantities, you can start truly private labeling and actually putting your brand name or your logo on the actual items. But for starters, the box idea is kind of a nice shortcut to that. Let's see, next question. Where are you getting things like sell-through rate and all the other stats from? It's a site called Terapeak, terapeak.com. I will include a link in the description box below. Basically, you can get a free 7-day trial to Terapeak, so you can try it out. If you like it, great, continue using it and sign up for it. If you don't like it, well, you got some free data that you can use in your listings. What Terapeak does, it tells you the sell-through rate on items. It tells you how much is sold in a given week. It shows you your top 20 competitors. It tells you the best day of the week to sell your item, or when most people are buying your item, the best time of day when most people are buying your item. It gives you the best keywords to put in your listings. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pause this video right now and open up Terapeak and just give you guys a quick preview for those of you guys who aren't familiar with it. Okay, so we're in my Terapeak dashboard. I'm going to show you this SEO tool quickly. Let's see, we'll type in, since the video is about paracord bracelets, we'll type in paracord bracelet. Now this is going to give me other relevant keywords. So here's some other similar products. Paracord bracelets, survival. So that's a good keyword I would want to put in my listing. 551 paracord, or 550 paracord bracelet, survival with fire starter, compass, and whistle. These are all keywords that I would want to include in my listing because these are all keywords that people are shopping for. And we could do this for anything. We could do this for, what's another product we might want to search? Watermelon cutter. Watermelon slicer. Genetti, that's a name brand. And I kind of like how they give you some context to what the word's about. So tool, model, steel, it's stainless steel is the material. Stainless is a color. That's actually a material and a color. Slicey is a brand. So we can know, what these keywords are. Are they types of materials? Are they types of brands? Are they descriptions of the items? The other thing I really like is product research. So let's go over to product research here, and let's type in paracord bracelet. And I kind of showed you guys all this in the video, but I just want to show you guys how powerful this this tool Terapeak is. They make something similar called Jungle Scout for Amazon. I preferred Terapeak. I actually use Terapeak for my eBay and Amazon data. When we search paracord bracelets, I'll just run you through the data quickly. In a single week, this info is a week in arrears, but in a single week, $14,705.66 was sold. The total listings were 2,533. The successful ones were 1,326, which gives us a sell-through rating of 52%. This is a pretty good sell-through rating. Anything under 40 I typically don't like, but anything above 40 is pretty good. Average price, average shipping price. Most people buy paracord bracelets between 7 and 8 p.m. Most people buy paracord bracelets on Saturday. The best keyword is survival. Most people list them in sporting goods. And here's we can see a chart of the time of day when most people are buying. Again, here's a chart of the days when most people are buying. So I would probably want to list my items on Saturday, but Wednesday and Sunday aren't bad days either. Here's how many days people are doing their listings for. The vast majority of these are being sold in sporting goods, but some people are selling them in jewelry and crafts. Here are the price points. So if I got a paracord bracelet that I'm selling for $12, well, I'm not going to sell nearly as much as somebody selling them for $1.99. This is really valuable. This is similar to the keyword research I showed you before, but here's the top keywords: survival, whistle, fire starter, flint, buckle. So my goal when I'm putting together a listing for quote unquote eBay SEO, I would want to put the term survival front and center in my listing. So I might, if I'm listing a paracord bracelet, I might put survival paracord bracelet with whistle, with whistle and flint fire starter. So basically my goal is to incorporate the most popular keywords as early on in my title as possible. Here we can see the types of listings people are doing. More of the types of listings: bids, auction, store. We can see the highest selling items. This is kind of a neat category. This is only relevant for auctions, but if we sort from low to high, high to low, we can see which items are getting the most bids. So here's a kit to make your own paracord bracelets. Here's one with a compass in it. But like I said, this isn't taking into consideration buy it now listings, only auctions. What this tells me is the things getting the most bids are going to be the most popular. So these might be products I want to look into sourcing. If we go over here, we can see the top 20 sellers of paracord bracelets. This guy's selling $2,000 a week. He has 5 total listings, 5 are successful. His average sale price is $10, and he has a 100% sell-through rate. So everything he puts in sells. Here you can see some of the other hot sellers of paracord bracelets. And I'll show you guys something that I do. If I see somebody who's doing well, I'm going to try to copy them. So OP Gratitude. So let's see. We'll go to Google, and we'll search OP Gratitude. Or how do you spell gratitude? Gratitude. And eBay, and it's going to take me to his My eBay page, or my eBay world, right? So what I'm then going to do is kind of check out his items and what he's selling. So let's see what this guy's selling. He's selling paracord bracelets. So this guy doesn't have that many listings up. Oh, he's selling like care packages for the troops and things like that. Let's look at somebody else. Paracord-Charlie. Let's try him. Paracord-Charlie. eBay. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get ideas for new products. If this guy sells a lot of stuff, I'm going to try to kind of copy his success. So I'm going to look through, I'm going to see, okay, so he's got Baltimore Orioles. I question whether he actually owns the rights, and whether he actually should legally be putting team names on these things. Yeah, I'm sure he bought the little buckle, but a lot of times, these teams or the MLB will get mad at you for doing this. So I don't know that I would do something like that. But basically, I'm going to look through. I'm going to see if there's any products that he's selling that look interesting that I might want to copy. The other thing I might do is click his listing, and I might go here and try to see, okay, what's he doing in his listing? So, okay, if you notice, he has a lot of pictures. You really only need one picture. I think he's using, are these all the same picture? Oh, no, they're different. But basically, for eBay SEO, the more pictures you have, the better you rank. Item specifics are something else. So as you can see here, it's got a lot of item specifics: size, color, brand, gender. Item specifics also give you a boost in ranking. Let's see if he's offering. He has free shipping that also gives you a boost in ranking. So we can see why he's the best seller. He has a long, very descriptive, if you just put up, a lot of people put up a listing like paracord bracelet for sale. People want to know a lot about stuff. So he talks about the type of material. It's 550 paracord. He's got a lot of keywords and things in here. He has he shows you how to measure to make sure this is going to fit you. So he has a very long listing. One other thing you'll notice, it doesn't look like, I take that back. He is using a template. The one downside of templates is definitely working for him, but the downside of templates is the most valuable space in your description is the first 150 characters. Now, I don't know if you guys know what HTML code is. HTML code is what you plug in that makes this template look like this. HTML code is basically, though it does contain all these words and all this script, it also contains basically saying, script telling it, okay, put a border up here. Okay, put this sidebar on here. So basically his first 150 characters of text is basically just jumbled HTML code. So that's not giving him any eBay SEO boost. So what I would do is basically take the title, put the title in plain text at the top here, and then put the template below it. That way you get templates which look nice and present information in a professional way, while still taking advantage of that SEO there. I've kind of dragged on much too long about Terapeak, but we can see how well stuff sells internationally, so you can see if it's worthwhile selling your items internationally. Here, The U.S. makes up a good chunk of paracord bracelet sales, but the UK, there's a lot of sales as well in Australia, so you may want to consider selling internationally as well. But I've dragged on enough. Terapeak is the program that I use. I'll include a link in the description box below. And if anybody's interested, you can get a free 7-day trial. I'm going to try to start moving through these questions a little bit quicker because we got like 60 of them to cover. Paracord bracelet sells for 99 cents on eBay. What is going on? Pretty much with anything, the same people who are supplying you with your items a lot of times are selling on eBay themselves. So if you're trying to be the lowest price guy out there, you're trying to fight a losing battle. A lot of these guys who are selling really cheaply are based out of China. Let's see, where's this guy at? A lot of people, oh, this one's in Miami. But you'll notice a lot of these sellers are out of China. A lot of U.S. people don't want to order from China. It takes too long to get your things. People don't want to wait that long. A lot of people trust U.S. sellers more. But also, it's not all about being the cheapest guy out there. Like I said, some people are going to throw up a listing, paracord bracelet for sale, while other people are going to put up really long descriptive listings, use great templates, really sell the item to you. This is why our paracord bracelet is better than other people's. We ship same day until 5 p.m. Offering good customer service, adding some perceived value to your item is going to allow you to sell for more than your competitors. So don't be hung up on the lowest price out there. Like I said, okay, so we'll go over to eBay. There's people selling paracord bracelets for, actually, let's sort low to high. And I'm also going to go open up an Amazon tab over here. So there's people selling paracord bracelets. These are auctions, but for a penny. This thing might end at $2 or something. Don't try to compete with that, because what's the point? Do you really want to be packaging up items and doing all this work to make $2 or whatever? You're not even making $2 after shipping. However, then we have paracord bracelet. Let's see, I'm looking. Okay, the Friendly Swede. Why is this guy able to charge $11 for a paracord bracelet when these people are starting auctions at a penny? Well, this guy does a private label. He puts his name on the brand. I imagine he makes sure he has good quality control. If you look at a lot of people's paracord bracelets, like they burn the ends really badly and it scratches your wrist. Like, I imagine he's pretty on top of quality control. He ranks very high on Amazon, like on the first page of searches. And same thing with eBay. If I didn't search low to high, let me just do this search one more time. So when you do a search and you're just searching for best match and not low to high, the people who show up on the first page of eBay are going to outsell everybody else. I used to sell a product. I would sell my product for $130. Everybody else was selling my product for $95 to $105. So I was substantially more money. People would pay $25 to $35, even $40 more for my product. Why? Because I showed up high on the first page of eBay. I actually dominated the first page of eBay. If there's 20 listings on the first page of eBay, my listings probably made up about 17 of those. Most people aren't going to go to page 2 or page 3. So if you're on the first page of eBay or Amazon, people will basically buy your item and pay 10, 20, 30, 40% more for your item instead of shopping around, just because most people don't dig that deep or don't look around that much. So don't try to compete with the bottom of the barrel cheapest guy out there. Private label, have good quality control, have good customer service, and learn to SEO and rank your eBay and Amazon listings, and you will outsell people who sell for a lot less money than you. This guy says, sellers boycott eBay. They provide no protection to sellers. Boycott PayPal as well, which allow fraudulent chargebacks frequently, turning into an epidemic. Let me say a couple things about this. If you choose to sell on eBay, Amazon, use PayPal, you're subject to their terms and their rules. If you have an issue with it, don't sell on there. I realize that eBay favors buyers. I realize it's frustrating, but it's just part of the game. I personally find that eBay and Amazon bring me a lot of business that I wouldn't otherwise get. And though there are some headaches that come along with it, to me, it's worth dealing with it. If it's not worth it to you, then don't do it. There are ways you can cut back on these issues. If you ship your items promptly, if you provide good customer service, if you put a tracking number on every item, if you put signatures on items, on higher dollar value items, you're not going to run into nearly as many of these issues. Have I had chargebacks? Yeah, I think one of my worst chargebacks was a guy who bought with Amex, did a chargeback. I was out $900. Like, he did it like hours after I shipped the item. I'm out my $900 item plus the $900 cash. Big loss for me. And typically, PayPal will give me a chance to dispute it or provide a signature. Amex basically automatically gives people chargebacks, like no questions asked. So I was out that money. But most other chargebacks I win because I can either provide a tracking number showing the item was delivered, or I can show a signature that the person actually signed for the item. And then lastly, chargebacks are not PayPal's fault. A credit card chargeback is something that the person's credit card company is doing for them. PayPal actually does a very good job of fighting chargebacks for you. They'll, basically they're the middleman, the go-between between a credit card company and you. If you provide tracking, PayPal will go to the credit card company with tracking and say, hey, look, this guy did ship this item. It shows it was delivered on, June 2nd at 9:38 p.m. at the front door, or it shows that the customer signed for it. So, hey, be mad at your customers. Be mad at credit card companies for allowing chargebacks to happen too easily. I have had plenty of my own complaints about PayPal and eBay, but I don't really feel like this is a justified one. The prices you show on Amazon are for multiple items, not just one. To this, I say, who cares? I get what this guy's saying. Some of the examples I showed in the video on Amazon is like, this is just a single one. But okay, the Friendly Swede selling these bracelets for, we'll say $15, but it's a 3-pack of them. So people are saying to me with comments like this, well, he's giving away 3 of them, not just one. Well, guess what? I can buy those paracord bracelets for probably 24 cents a piece. So even if I have to if I'm selling this for, we'll even say $10.99. If I'm selling this bracelet for $10.99, even if I have to give somebody 3 of these paracord bracelets, like I said, about 17 cents a piece, we'll say 20 cents for easy numbers, 20, 40, 60. 3 of these bracelets cost me 60 cents, and I'm selling them for $10.99. To me, that's pretty good margins. I could care less if I had to give somebody 10 of these bracelets, because even 10 of the bracelets would only be $2, and I'm making $11 off the sale. So obviously not $11. You got to take into account shipping fees and things like that. But I don't really care if I have to give somebody 2, 3, 5, or even 10 of this item. It's still great margins. I don't know if you guys realize how cheap these bracelets really are. And a lot of items that you may not think would be as cheap as they are. A lot of items I get for under 50 cents. So if I'm selling something for $10 or $15, who cares if I got to give away 2, 3, 4, or 5 of the item? I'm still making fantastic margins. How do you private label? I have entire videos that go into depth on this, but just to give you a quick run through of what private labeling is, I go buy an item from Alibaba. I put my logo on the item. Basically, when I make the sale, or when I'm about to buy it, I contact the seller. I'd say, hey, do you offer OEM, or can I private label this? They'll say yes. They'll tell me how many units I have to buy. Okay, you got to buy 200 units. And let me see here. So basically, I could go buy this paracord bracelet on Alibaba. Actually, let me, Alibaba.com. Paracord bracelet. Okay, so here's somebody with a paracord bracelet fairly similar to this Friendly Swede's paracord bracelet. Actually, it's pretty much exactly the same. So you see, I don't really need to open it up. Okay, so you see this area. I can't move my mouse over, but just to the right of where my mouse is, you see that part on the bracelet? That is most, like right around here is most likely where I would put my private label. Or put my brand. So if we go over here, this seller will allow me to do various styles. I can choose the type of packaging I want. I can choose either metal buckles or plastic buckles. I can choose the colors, and it should say something about OEM here. Paracord bracelets, handmade, customize the size. So if you want to make paracord bracelets for larger wrists, you can do that. They have R&D, which is research and development, which means that if you want to tell them, hey, I'd like to create my own paracord bracelet with a different kind of buckle, they're open to doing that for you. Color, you can do different colors. You can mix and match colors. Logo, metal charm, or dog tag. And here's how they basically do the private labeling. They can either do an epoxy logo or a laser etched logo. You can pick a plastic or a metal band. You can pick all different types of closures and clasps. See, here's a plastic clip. Here's a metal one like the Friendly Swedes. Here's like one that ties off. Here's a different style. So basically you would just go to a seller and, here they say their minimum order quantity is 50 pieces. So 50 pieces maybe for generic ones. If you actually want to put your logo on it, they may make you do, 100 pieces or 150 pieces. In my experience, private labeling or putting your brand on something like this would probably cost, I would say, about 4.5 cents. So if I'm paying, I think you could probably get this price down, but just for example, if I'm paying 50 cents a unit for probably 54.5 cents, they'll put my logo on the units. So that's essentially what private labeling is. When you get your items in the mail or from customs, whatever, you're going to throw them up on Amazon. You're going to label them as Regina Strickland's paracord bracelets. Ideally, do your own packaging. In your Amazon picture, you're going to show that your logo is on the item. And then if somebody else wants to go over to Alibaba and try to buy the same bracelet, if you didn't have it private labeled, they could piggyback on your listing because there's nothing proprietary. You don't have a brand. However, by private labeling, they're not allowed to sell a bracelet with no label on it. If yours says, Regina's bracelets, they're not allowed to sell a generic one on your listing. If they do, you can report them to Amazon. Amazon will remove their listing. So that's basically what private labeling is and how you go about it. I do have a bunch of videos going more into depth on how this is done. Let's see. When drop shipping from AliExpress, can you purchase and ship items one at a time like you would have drop shipping from Amazon? Or do you have to purchase the items, have them sent to your home, then resell and ship yourself? Example, the fire starter in your video, can I list that on eBay for $5 and then it sells, go to AliExpress and buy one for 50 cents and have it shipped directly to the person you bought it from? Hypothetically, yes, you can. Do you want to? No, and I'll tell you why. AliExpress, it typically, at the very quickest, it's probably going to take 2 weeks to get an item from AliExpress to the States. More than likely, it's going to take 3 weeks to a month. Most of your eBay and Amazon customers are, after 1 or 2 days, are going to be hounding you for a tracking number. AliExpress doesn't provide real tracking numbers that work. I mean, they do provide tracking numbers, but it's e-packet or air cargo mail. The tracking numbers aren't very accurate. They typically don't update for a while. A lot of times the sellers won't ship for anywhere from 3 days, 5 days, 7 days after your order. So, you're going to have a lot of upset buyers. A lot of people are going to be opening claims. A lot of people are going to say, I'm not willing to wait 2 weeks for my item. Give me a refund. And now you have an item that's been shipped to them. They're asking for a refund. They're going to open a claim with eBay or Amazon. eBay or Amazon is going to give them their money back. You're then going to have a free paracord bracelet going to them because you already sent it to them and they already got their money back. So it's just a very bad idea to do. I mean, when you're talking about items that cost 50 cents, for 51, 52, for $2.50, you can order 5 units. You know what I mean? For $5, you can order 2 units. With items this cheap, you really have nothing to lose. Go order 20 units. Go order 50 units. Sell them yourself, package them yourself, and ship them out yourself. I realize it's not drop shipping. I realize it is going to require a little bit of extra work on your part. But drop shipping from AliExpress is really not a good business model. You're going to wind up hurting your seller metrics because Amazon and eBay do measure how quickly you upload tracking. They do measure how quickly that tracking is verified, and your customers are going to be upset. So you're going to have poor seller metrics, you're going to have bad feedback, and you're basically going to wind up either having a lot of pissed off customers or getting your eBay or Amazon account suspended. So I do not recommend drop shipping from AliExpress. What about phone cases? I think I read somewhere that you need to be a pro seller to apply to sell in that category on Amazon. I have a well-selling brand of cases right now on eBay, but it makes me a bit nervous. So really, anybody who's serious about selling on Amazon should become a professional seller. Yes, it does cost $39.95 a month, but you're not allowed to create your own listings unless you are a professional seller. So if you want to, basically you can't private label unless you're a professional seller. You're also not allowed to sell on the Friendly Swedes listings. As you see here, there's no, this offer available by 3 other people because only he owns that Friendly Swede brand and only he can sell there. However, if we look at paracord bracelets, I'm trying to find one that's sold by like multiple people. 2 offers. Okay, so basically what's happening here, this guy owns this Tech P brand, right? There's a new seller out of Vietnam who's piggybacking off his listings. This guy is not selling a Tech P survival paracord bracelet. He's selling a generic one. However, he should not be selling on this guy's listing. And not only that, he's actually undercutting this guy's price on this listing. And one other thing, if you look at, nobody's going to buy from this guy anyways, because if you order from him, you're not going to get this item from anywhere from June 16th to the 29th, whereas this one is available by Prime and I could have it in 2 days. So this guy, nobody's going to order from this guy anyway, but this is what's called piggybacking. It's when people try to hop on people who have brands, items. See, they got Tech P. So if this Vietnamese guy is trying to sell on this guy's listing, his bracelets aren't going to say Tech P because he has no rights to that brand. What's going to wind up happening is Tech P is going to order a product from this guy. It's called a test buy. He's going to take a picture of his item with the Tech P tag. He's going to take a picture of this Naigan Hu Hien guy's listing without the tag. And he's going to say, hey, Amazon, This guy is an unauthorized seller on my listing. Please have him removed. This guy is going to be taken off this listing, and he may have his seller account suspended. So for any of you guys new to Amazon, don't hop on people's listings if they have a private label. The only listings you can hop on are generic ones, and I'm actually having a hard time finding any generic ones. But okay, 3 offers. So this one, a lot of people will try to like make up a name. So this is JD Gems paracord bracelet, but as you can see, there's no brand name on it. There's no custom packaging, so there's really nothing this guy can do to keep other people from hopping on his listing. So as you can see here, this guy has 3 other people competing on his same listing, and what's going to happen, this guy undercuts him by a penny. So now, or I'm sorry, okay, so we got this guy at $8.99. This guy goes to $8. This guy goes to $7.99. Now this guy's going to go to $7.98. This guy's going to go to $7.97. And there's actually automated programs where you can automatically undercut people on a price. So if this guy lowers his price, I'm automatically going to undercut him by a penny. Why you don't want to find yourself in this situation is because it's just a race to the bottom. Everybody's going to keep lowering the price until the item is selling for such a low price that it's not even worth selling because nobody's making any money. So this is the whole reason for private labeling, so you don't wind up in a situation like this. Let's see. Sure, you can buy these products cheaply. This is a comment, I guess, more than a question. Sure, you can buy these products cheaply on eBay direct from China, but you will be waiting anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks for delivery. Plus, you may get a bill a few months later for the shipping company or customs to pay the duty on the product you bought. And if you don't pay, you'll pay double when you pay your taxes. Sometimes your package never arrives. No offense, but I don't think this person really knows what they're talking about. First of all, unless you're going to pay for air cargo or shipment by air, shipment by sea takes a month for things to arrive in the U.S. From there, it's going to arrive at a port. It has to make it to your home city via a freight forwarder. You then have to wait for all the fees to be paid for it being held in the warehouse, customs, etc. And not until then can you go pick up your items. So I don't know why you're complaining about 3 to 5 weeks, because if you're importing, that's how long you're going to have to wait. It's just part of the business. You're not going to call up China and say, hey, I want 100 paracord bracelets, and you're not going to have them here tomorrow. And even if that were possible, you would pay thousands of dollars for that fast shipping. So that's not really a legitimate complaint. As far as getting a bill a few months later, that seems crazy to me. I have to pay my customs duties and fees before my items are allowed in. And the shipping company or the freight forwarder will not release my merchandise to me until I pay in advance. So I'm not sure where you're coming up with after the fact, learning that you owe all this money. And also shipping fees and freight forwarder fees have nothing to do with your taxes. So I'm not sure how that really ties in. And they say sometimes your package never arrives because it either got lost or is stuck in customs. I pay for insurance on all my shipments. Also, I deal with reputable shipping companies and reputable freight forwarders. I don't think I've ever had lost packages. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but these don't seem like valid concerns to me. What is the average shipping time for products on AliExpress and average on Alibaba? Just a ballpark. Average. Thanks. And also the labeling directly from the supplier. Do other suppliers also do labeling on other products? And is there usually a description on labeling on Alibaba for specific products? So a couple questions here. Average shipping time for AliExpress. I think I've gotten items in as quick as 10 days. I would say average is 3 weeks to a month. A lot of times you get stuff in 2 weeks. Let's go to AliExpress. I'm going to show you guys something. So we'll say hoverboard battery. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll just click a hoverboard. Okay. Now, if you see here, okay, so if you see something that says that never trust people when they say you're going to have your item in 5 days, it's not going to be there that quick. Ships out within 3 business days. Other times you'll see listings that say ships out within 5 business days, sometimes 7. I'm not sure exactly why this is. I think they want to make sure that your payment goes through and that you don't do a chargeback or anything before they ship. So a lot of times they'll sit, they won't even ship your item for anywhere from 3 days to a week. So you have that waiting time. Then you have the actual delivery time, which in my experience is probably 10 days to 2 weeks. So don't believe anybody who says you're going to get your item in 6 days or something like that. I would say plan on waiting at least 2 weeks. Don't be shocked if you wait 3 weeks to a month. But that's basically the average delivery time on AliExpress items. AliExpress tends to be a little bit quicker than Alibaba because AliExpress isn't actually manufacturer selling. It's basically resellers. So the same way you and I buy items and ship them, These are either like traders or sellers in China who are buying these things from factories and then reselling them to people like you and me. When you go over to Alibaba and purchase, these items haven't even been made yet. This is why you're able to private label them, because they're not going to start making these bracelets until you order your 50 pieces. Then you tell them, okay, I want the green one. I want to put the, little knife and flint fire starter on here. You specify the product that you want. They have over 300 colors. You pick the color, the clasp, everything else, and then they make the item for you. So it's probably going to take 7 to 10 days for them to make the item for you. Then you have to wait for the shipping. On lighter items, you can ship by air, which is going to be a lot more expensive. On heavier items, you're going to have to ship by sea. Sea shipping, it typically takes 31 to 33 days for a boat to get from China to the USA. It then has to be passed, then it has to clear customs. It then has to be passed along to your freight forwarder. So I would say probably 30 to 40 days is how long you're going to wait for a sea shipment. Let me just briefly talk about the differences between air shipping and sea shipping. So air shipping is really expensive, and it's fairly quick. Sea shipping is very cheap, but it's fairly slow. I'll give you an example. I was selling hoverboards, self-balancing scooters, two-wheel self-balance scooters back around Christmas time. The cost to ship a single hoverboard to me from China by air was anywhere from $80 to $150. At one time, I ordered 10 hoverboards by air. It wound up costing me $900 in shipping, which comes to about $90 a board. On the flip side, I did a couple sea shipments. On a sea shipment, and again, remember, $80 to $150 to ship a single board. On a sea shipment, I could ship what's called a CBM. Just to give you a reference of how large a CBM is, I could ship 100 hoverboards. And keep in mind, these hoverboards weigh anywhere between 20 to 25 pounds a piece. The boxes are about 3 feet by 1 feet by 1 feet. So not only are these items large and bulky, but they're heavy. I could ship 100 of them for somewhere between $250 and $330, whereas a single board cost me anywhere from $80 to $150. So pretty much I could ship 3 boards by air for the same cost that I can ship 100 boards by sea. That goes to show you how cheap sea shipping is. So if you're ordering in large quantities, if you're trying to keep your costs down, sea shipping is the way to go, but you need to plan ahead because it's a lot more expensive. Let's see. Okay. So the title of the video referred to how I do $250,000 a month in sales. Let me say, a lot of people have really questioned this and stuff like that. I don't do that much every month, but on a good month, I can do that much. I'm not claiming to make $250,000 a month. This is revenue, not profit. So this is overall sales. This isn't profit. I'm not making $250,000 a month. If I was, I would be sitting on a beach somewhere. I'm not going to do a whole business and accounting 101 here, but just to give you guys a simple example, I'm selling hoverboards, okay? I sell hoverboards for $200 a piece. They cost me $100 a piece. I sell 10 hoverboards. I make $2,000. That's not $2,000 in profit. $1,000 out of that $2,000 is my cost for inventory. So right there's only a profit of $1,000. Well, now Amazon takes 15% of those sales. So that's $150. So $1,000 is now down to $850. I need packaging materials and things like that as well. So, packaging materials brings that $850 down to, $800. Well, then I had to pay shipping to get the things over here. So that $800 goes down to $700. Obviously, there's other costs involved with running a business. I have to pay an accountant. I have to pay $39.95 a month for my Amazon professional seller account. I run some advertising. So you can see the money really dwindles quickly. So, if I do $250,000 a month in sales, I may only take home $30,000. I have a business partner. So obviously of that 30, 15 is his, 15 is mine. Then you have taxes. A lot of money we reinvest into the business. We do a lot of R&D and try out new products and things like that. So out of every 20 products that I decide to sell and place test orders for, probably only 1 or 2 of them are actually going to be hot selling items. Maybe another 2 or 3 of them will be items that are worth selling but aren't going to fly off the shelves. So you can see how, overall sales is a completely different number than actual profit. And if you continue to invest in your business, it's not as much money as you may think. Let's see. Next, could someone like me sell Ralph Lauren polo shirts that I find on AliExpress that have their logo on them for more money on eBay or Amazon, or is that illegal? Also, do you use the affiliate program on AliExpress, eBay, or Amazon? Um, no, you're not allowed to sell Ralph Lauren t-shirts from AliExpress. Why? Because they're knockoffs, they're counterfeit. I typically stay away from brand name stuff, period. I don't care whether it's legitimate or counterfeit. I don't sell name brand stuff. Reason being, name brand stuff comes with a lot of problems. If you try to sell name brand stuff on eBay, you'll find that stupid customers will claim that things are counterfeit even if they're not. Also, your competitors may try to report you for selling counterfeit stuff even if you're selling legitimate stuff. Ultimately, if you can prove that your stuff is legit and you bought it from a legit supplier or directly from Polo, they're not going to suspend your account, but they may temporarily suspend your account. You may get PayPal money held up. You're going to have a lot of claims for counterfeit merchandise. I had a buddy who was selling a couple of Burberry scarves, and literally every time he put up a listing, it would get pulled down for being counterfeit. The scarves were 100% authentic. He had bought them at a Burberry outlet, but it was such a headache. He said, screw this, I'm not even selling it. And as far as AliExpress, Alibaba, etc., anything you buy that's Nike, Reebok, Fitbit, etc., it's all going to be fake. Not only are you going to have upset sellers, but you may wind up being sued by Fitbit, eBay, Amazon, Nike, whoever brand you're stealing. You're probably going to be sued. These companies actually have teams of people who scour eBay and Amazon looking for people selling counterfeit stuff. And in some cases, I remember hearing one story where a guy was selling like Reebok jerseys. He thought they were authentic. Reebok made a claim they weren't. And eBay was basically insisting, it was either eBay or Reebok themselves were insisting that he send in all his inventory to them to be inspected. If he didn't, they were threatening to sue him. So in my opinion, stay away from name brand stuff, period. I think I actually have a video talking about this very topic, but at the very least, don't buy name brand stuff from Alibaba or AliExpress because I can pretty much guarantee you it's fake. Same with Lacoste and everything else. Yes, you will see Coach belt buckles and everything else selling on AliExpress, but again, it's all fake. I would like to know more about your coaching. Okay, guys, sorry, I had to stop the video there for a second. We're at question 13 out of like 62, and we're already at 41 minutes, and I'm starting to get a sore throat from rambling. So I'm going to start moving through here a little bit quicker, but a lot of people have been trying to get in touch with me about coaching. I really apologize if I haven't responded to your guys' emails. I probably get like 20 of these a day, and a lot of people give me, some background on themselves too, so it's hard to get through and respond to all these. I do respond to all my YouTube comments, but getting through the emails, I don't necessarily always have time for. So I'm really sorry for that. I do appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, and I love providing free information to you guys, but I'm kind of getting away from doing the coaching thing, and I'll tell you why. A couple reasons. First of all, I'm just so busy right now with my own projects that I don't really have time to, I don't want to say I don't have time to help others because I still make these YouTube videos, but I don't have time to work with everybody out there one-on-one. So that's part of it. The second part of it is I like teaching for free. When I teach for free, I can teach topics that I want to teach. I can do it when I want to do it. If I want to do it in the morning, that's fine. If I want to do it in the evening, that's fine. When I do coaching or consulting, I have to work around your guys' schedules. So, some of you guys may want to have a call at 8 o'clock at night. And, sometimes I've had a 12-hour day of working at that point, and I just want to sit down and watch a TV show with my girlfriend, or I would just want to hang out with my dogs, or I just want to relax or go to bed or whatever else. So I like that teaching for free on YouTube or through programs and things like that because I can do it on my own time. The other problem I run into is most people who approach me for coaching don't really have a plan in mind. So if somebody came to me and said, look, I set up a Shopify store selling t-shirts. I'm driving a lot of traffic, but I'm not getting any sales. Can you help me? Well, that's something specific that I can drill down on. I can say, okay, let me take a look at your website. Okay, well, here's your first problem. You're not showcasing any products. I go to your website, it looks boring. I don't really know what you're selling. It's not clear to me that you're selling t-shirts. Why don't you put some slides on the front that showcase 3 of your most popular designs? And when somebody clicks those slides, well, then they're taken to those popular products and they can buy them. Let me go through your checkout process. Okay, you're asking for way too much information. You don't need the person's, you don't need them to click whether they're Mr. or Mrs. You don't need an alternative address. You're making this checkout process too long and people are abandoning carts. Okay, let me look at your cart abandonment. Okay, you're losing all, you have all these people who are going to checkout but not completing it. What's the problem? Are you not offering good payment options? Are people not trusting your shopping cart? That's something that I can actually drill down and nail down to. I get a lot of people who just message me and say, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month. Can you help me? Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to do e-commerce? Do you want to do Kindle publishing? Do you want to do affiliate marketing? Do you want to start freelancing? Do you want to do SEO? And basically then I have to go back, okay, well, what do you want to do? Well, I don't know what I want to do. I just want to make $10,000 a month. And basically people want to pay me a couple $100 to basically from the ground up build them a business that's going to make $10,000 a month. And if I'm going to do that, I might as well do it for my, no offense, but I might as well do it for myself and keep the entire $10,000 a month. So if you're, whether you're coming to me or somebody else, have a plan in mind. And I typically like when somebody has tried and failed on their own before they come to me, because it shows they're a self-starter. Some people come, I've actually worked with people who wanted coaching before and they've never sold a single item on eBay. So the lessons that I'm teaching is basically like, okay, here are eBay's policies. Here's how you put together a listing. Here's how you do this. And people are paying me $200 an hour to do things that they should just be going on eBay.com and reading about the policies themselves. You don't need me to tell you how to put together an eBay listing. eBay has a million help pages that will show you how to do that yourself. So not only, you're wasting your own time and you're wasting your own money by trying to hire me to teach you like eBay 101, because that's stuff that you can easily pick up from a blog or YouTube video. I prefer that somebody try something on their own, try and fail, and then come to me with issues to solve. But coming to me as a complete beginner and saying, I've never done any of this before, can you help me? Well, I'm basically teaching you basics, and you really don't need to pay me $200 an hour to teach you the basics of how to put up together an eBay listing or what payment options does eBay allow. I mean, this is some stuff that you could very easily learn yourself by going to ebay.com. So I want to work with people who, right now I'm not working with people, but I want to work with people who are self-starters, people who are motivated, people who have an idea of what they want to do, people who have a plan in mind. But somebody who comes to me and just says, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month, I really can't work with that. So I'm not doing coaching right now. And one last reason why I don't do coaching and consulting as much anymore, it's really hard to kind of figure out how to price this type of stuff. Like I started saying, okay, $200 an hour, because that's basically what I value my time with. I can make $200 an hour on my own time doing my own projects. So if I'm going to take time away, I take time away from that to make YouTube videos for free. But if I'm going to take time away from that to work with somebody one-on-one, it has to be make me more money than I would otherwise make on my own. But it's also tough. Like, how do I, somebody who says I want to make money online, well, what topics do we want to cover? People always expect more for their money. How do I explain this? People want to get the best bang for their buck. So if I sell somebody a coaching package for $200, maybe that's an hour worth of time to me. And that's, to me, worth me solving 2 or 3 of their issues. Whereas somebody may want me to build a business from scratch for them, build a website for them. And so it basically turns into, you don't just want my advice, you don't just want my mentoring or coaching, you want me to build you a website. You want me to research and find 20 products for you to sell. You want me to find a source for these products. You want me to be the one who's in contact with the supplier. And essentially, I'm running your business for you for $200, which just isn't worth it. So that's kind of the problem I run into. The one other thing, I find that I'm too nice. I undercharge people, and I used to charge $200 an hour for like a 1-hour Skype conversation. Well, without fail, every single time the conversations wind up running 2.5, 3 hours, and I'm not going to at 1 hour like set a timer and be like, okay, your time's up, buddy. I'm sorry. Please deposit another $200. I wind up having a 3-hour conversation with people. 2 hours of that is done completely free, and I wind up kind of neglecting my own projects, my dogs, my girlfriend, everything else. So I would like to do coaching in the future. I'm probably going to try. I've been coming out with a lot of e-courses and books and things like that, digital products. I'm probably going to focus a lot more on that type of stuff moving forward. And if I can find a team of people to work with me on coaching to where I can kind of outsource some of the work to other people and I'm not having to do everything myself, I am looking at maybe rolling out a coaching program again, but something where it's more streamlined, where maybe I have a questionnaire that you have to fill out before you contact me for coaching, so I know exactly what you want to get into. I have kind of a chart of what I'm going to charge for various things. But basically, right now I just don't have the time for it, but I really need to be a lot more organized and be more clear about your guys' expectations as well as my expectations in the coaching. So right now I'm not doing it. I'm really sorry. I am going to continue making great videos. I do answer all of your guys' comments and questions on here. So, if it's something, kind of a short question you need, or if you're running into trouble with something, leave a comment. And if you guys want to request any videos, like, oh, please make a video on how to do this on Amazon. I'd be more than happy to do it for you. So I mean, essentially, I'm willing to coach you guys for free, but I just want to do it on my own time, kind of. So also the other thing, as soon as you guys give me money, it's basically my responsibility to make you money. And don't get me wrong, I'm good under pressure, but there's a lot of variables. You know, if you're not putting in the work, if you're not following my advice to a T, you may not make money, and now all of a sudden it's my fault that you're not successful. So that's kind of why I've gotten away from the coaching for now. Let's see. Is there any specific product category you would advise us to stay away from because you found it difficult to get customers for? Um, let's see. I kind of talked about earlier. I stay away from brand name things. A, because there aren't good margins. Typically, I like to make at least 3 times my money back. Ideally, my best selling products I may make 10, 12, 14 times my money back. And with brand name stuff, the margins aren't there. You're lucky to make like a 20% margin, whereas I want to make like a 300% margin. So the margins are bad with name brand stuff. Also, you run into a lot of issues with copyright and counterfeit things like that. So to me, it's just not worth dealing with products like that. How do you put the new brand on the product? I kind of touched on this earlier. Again, I have a lot of videos where I talk about private labeling more in depth. But basically, you go to Alibaba, you find a supplier. Most suppliers are willing to do, I call it private labeling or white labeling. They call it OEM a lot of times. But basically contact the supplier. Hey, I'm interested in these cell phone chargers you have. Do you provide OEM services? What kind of printing do you do? And what is the minimum order quantity? And they'll come back to you. They'll say, okay, you have to buy at least 200 units. We do laser engraving, and you need to provide us with a vector file. So then you'll go to Fiverr.com or go hire a designer or whatever, have them make a logo for you, have them give it to you in like a PNG vector file. You provide that to the supplier. They'll send you a sample showing you what your, private labeled product looks like. You'll then say, okay, we're good to go. Send me the 200 units. You pay them, you get the product. So in a nutshell, that's kind of how that works. How long have you been doing e-commerce? How long did it take you to get to this level of sales? I've been an eBay seller since probably going on 15 years. But really probably up until the last couple of years, I wasn't serious about it. Like I just sell some random things I had laying around the house. I might try to get a little hustle going on eBay selling a product or something like that. I might go to the flea market, buy a cheap item and try to resell it. But as far as like really being serious about e-commerce, probably 2012, me and a business partner of mine kind of saw a niche that wasn't being filled. We went to a local retail store, bought a product. I think we started the business with $268. Less than 2 years later, we were doing over $2.5 million a year in sales. I would say the first 2 years of our business, we were each making a couple hundred. I remember when we first started out, we were making $50 a week that we were splitting, and we thought that was pretty cool. At the time, I was living check to check. The Friday night before payday, I was running to the Coinstar machine, dumping all my change, trying to get money for gas or to go out and get a couple of beers with my buddies. So I was really kind of scraping by. So an extra $25 a week to me was okay. Well, I can go out on Friday night, or I can fill up my gas tank, or I can, treat myself to a pizza or something like that. Then it got to the point where, we were making a couple $1,000s a month. We were making like $5,000 a month. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. We got some side money. Most of it was being reinvested back into the business and buying more inventory. But we started making a little bit more money. I would say around year 2 is when things really started picking up. Next thing I know, we're making $15,000 a month. Then we're making $20,000 a month. Then we're making $30,000 a month. And actually, we were making good money, and I probably still stayed at my job for another year. I had a full-time job. I wasn't making very much money at the full-time job, probably, I don't know, $22,000, $24,000 a year. I did have benefits. I had a 401k match, but, the pay wasn't great. The job wasn't going anywhere. There was no room for advancement. So I knew I had to do something on the side to get something going because, I don't plan on living the rest of my life making $22,000 a year. I want to have a nice retirement. I want to be financially secure. So I started doing blogging. I started doing affiliate marketing. I started doing some little things on the side, which led me to e-commerce. But it was about 2 years in before things really skyrocketed. I was working probably 60, 65 hours a week at my day job, coming home, staying up till 2, 3 in the morning, packaging items, shipping items, doing my eBay sales, building my website, things like that. And the business just slowly and slowly grew. But I would say around year 2, we kind of hit a tipping point. And that's when sales really exploded. Like I said, I stayed at my job for probably about another year, year and a half. I was being very cautious about leaving. We're in kind of a high risk industry. I've had problems with eBay shutting my account down. I've had problems with PayPal shutting my account down, Amazon shutting my account down. At one point, PayPal had $150,000 of my money tied up in rolling reserves. At one point, PayPal terminated my PayPal account and I couldn't find payment processing for 4 months. So I literally went like 4 months without income. So e-commerce is tough. It took a couple of years, but I would say about year 2 is when things started getting real. About 3 years in is when I quit my day job, and I've been doing e-commerce and been self-employed for actually it's going to be probably about a year and a half and a couple of days now. So that's kind of my story there. Let's see. Just spent about an hour on AliExpress, researched about 20 items. These items sell on eBay for only $1 more on average than what you can buy them for on Ali. Guess too many people are on this website. What else? Where else can I find wholesale deals? So I talked about this earlier in this video. Don't try to compete with the bottom of the barrel price. Also, if the sellers you're talking about who are selling for really cheap, I'm guessing they're probably foreign sellers. They're selling from China or Hong Kong. Most people aren't going to buy from them because they don't want to wait for the long shipping time. So you already have a leg up. You can charge more than other people, and a lot of people will still buy from you because you're in the US and you're going to ship the item quicker to them. Also, by putting together a quality listing, maximum number of item descriptions, a good description, a good title, rank high on eBay, ship quickly, provide good customer service, that's going to get your seller rank metrics up. That's going to get you ranking on first page of eBay and Amazon. And just by default there, just because you're more seen, you can charge more and you're going to sell more. As far as where else, a lot of people talk about items being saturated. Most of the time when people say an item is saturated, it's because they can't make money with the item. It's not because it's truly saturated. I don't think paracord bracelets are like the holy grail of e-commerce, so I don't mean to give off that impression, but because this is what that video was kind of based off of, or what I put a heavy focus on. If you're just trying to sell a plain paracord bracelet, well, yeah, it's not to say you can't make money on it, but that is kind of a saturated thing. But it's up to you to find a way to differentiate yourself. So a lot of times appealing to niche groups. So if I made a paracord bracelet that had one of those puzzle pieces and supported autism, a lot of people who have autistic kids may want to wear a paracord bracelet like that to kind of show their support for the cause or whatever. Well, not everybody out there, everybody out there is selling black paracord bracelets, but how many people are selling support autism paracord bracelets? Well, there's a niche that people will buy, and that I can charge more because not as many people are selling that. I'm appealing to a niche group. Another way you can differentiate yourself is by bundling. So if everybody is just selling paracord bracelets, but I'm selling a paracord bracelet, a fire starter, and a folding knife, well, now I can call mine a survival pack. Each one of these items are probably going to cost me less than $1, but maybe I charge $14.95 and call this the Delta Force Survival Pack. Well, I've bundled items and I've added perceived value. You can also add perceived value by private labeling. But don't get hung up on trying to compete with bottom of the barrel prices. I have an important question I hope you can answer. Can I ship the product from Alibaba to Amazon directly? If I can, how much it costs me? Okay, so typically when I order stuff, I'll have the items shipped to my office. Actually, I'll have them shipped to a port. The freight forwarder will then ship them to a trucking warehouse, and I'll either pay a trucking company to deliver them to my office, or I'll go pick them up myself. I then basically check the quality, make sure I got everything that I ordered, package the stuff up either in boxes, poly bags, and then I ship it off to Amazon FBA. Now, this adds extra time to the process because first it has to be shipped to me, and then I have to, process everything and ship it to Amazon. What some people choose to do is ask their Chinese supplier to do this for them. So let's say I'm buying paracord bracelets. I may contact my supplier and say, hey, look, ship these things directly to Amazon for me. They need to be put in poly bags and they need to be labeled. So the seller will put them in packaging. I'll then create an Amazon fulfillment order and I'll print out my little 30-up labels, my ASNI stickers. I won't print them. I'll get those files. I'll send them over to my supplier in China. I'll say, look, every one of these items needs to have one of these stickers on them. I'll then provide them with the box packing slip to ship to Amazon, and I'll have my supplier in China ship the items directly to Amazon. This cuts out shipping costs because it's shipping directly to Amazon as opposed to having to ship to me, be packaged by me, and then ship to Amazon. It also cuts down on the legwork as there's really cheap labor in China, and they will package and label the items for me as opposed to me having to waste my time doing that. And it speeds up the process. The downside of this is you're not seeing the product before it goes to Amazon. So if there's a lot of faulty products in there, you're not going to know that. Your Amazon customers are going to be mad, and you're going to get poor seller metrics and a lot of returns, and you could wind up getting kicked off of Amazon. You're going to get negative reviews on your items, etc. Also, if your supplier doesn't package the items right, Amazon may wind up having to ship those items back to you. Amazon may charge you 75 cents a piece per item to repackage and relabel those products, and it can also cause you to get item strikes. So make sure you have a good relationship with your supplier, and I'd make sure you do 2 or 3 product runs shipping to yourself so that you can make sure the quality is good and make sure things are being packaged and labeled properly before you trust them to do that to Amazon, because it could harm your Amazon account. Hello, I have a very simple question. Why do you give us this info? I ask because there is always a reason. I guess you're like, why are you willing to give out this information? Obviously, I'm not going to give you guys every product that I sell. Some of my products I keep to myself. I enjoy teaching people. I enjoy helping other people. My ultimate goal is to get some e-courses. So basically, I'm going to provide a lot of information for free on YouTube. But if some of you guys want more in-depth information, okay, well, here's this course I sell for $9.99. You can buy it, and I'll give you, more in-depth information, or I'll give you more information. In the past, I've also done consulting where this is the platform, YouTube, where I kind of show that I'm an expert on the subject matter, and then people can come to me and pay me to consult or coach or mentor them on how to do this themselves. That's actually not something that I'm doing anymore because I'm too busy with my own projects. Quite honestly, a lot of people complain to me that I'm giving away too much information for free. A lot of other people who are, eBay, Amazon gurus, make money online gurus are like, hey, dude, why are you giving all this information out for free in videos? You should be, packaging this as a product and selling it to people for $47 and $98. And quite honestly, I'm probably a little bit too nice when it comes to that. I do make a little bit of money off advertising on my YouTube channel, but I mean, it's very little. It's not very much at all. So what I've been trying to do is create more digital courses so that I can kind of find a way to monetize all this effort that I'm putting into this channel. But I really do like helping people. Other people have helped me along the way. Zero Fats Returns, who I think he just rolled out a new YouTube channel. But when I was first getting started making online, he was very helpful to me. So I just kind of feel like giving back and helping you guys as well. Although, I mean, to some extent, there is an ulterior motive. I do have programs and ebooks and things like that I sell that I try to market to you guys as well, but I give away a ton of info for free, probably more than anybody else out there. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. So this guy makes $1 million every 4 months, and he wants to make a YouTube video on that, right? Okay, so I get a lot of haters on this video and on my channel in general. Again, people sometimes make themselves look stupid because I never claimed to make $250,000 a month. I said I do $250,000 in sales. That's overall sales. That's not net revenue. Like I explained in the earlier scenario, okay, if I sell $250,000 worth of product, maybe $200,000 of that is a cost of inventory. So that only leaves 50 grand left on the table, right? Well, then Amazon fees, I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but Amazon takes 15%, so that brings it down to, what's 15% of 50,000? I don't know, we'll say 43,000. Well, then I got shipping fees, that brings me down to 40,000. Then I got advertising fees, that brings me, so I'm not claiming to make $1 million every 4 months. Learn Business 101, overall sales versus net revenue. Next question. So what if someone orders and you're on vacation? This is a problem that a lot of people run into, and I think all entrepreneurs run into this problem. If you don't have a good team with you, you're pretty much always tied down to always having to work. You can never take a vacation. Okay, sorry to cut the video off there for a second. So what if you're on vacation? Like I said, it kind of helps to have a business partner or a team of people working with you, because that way you do have the flexibility to leave without your business grinding to a halt. It also depends on if you're doing self-fulfilled versus Amazon FBA. If you're doing Amazon FBA, Amazon is doing all your fulfillment and most of your customer service for you. They're accepting returns, so there's really nothing you have to do. If you're self-fulfilling your items, which means you hold all the inventory and you ship it out yourself, well, then it's a problem if you go on vacation because somebody's going to need to ship out those items. So you could either have a friend or a family member help you out, give them a quick lesson on how to do everything, and let them ship stuff while you're away. The danger in that is if they make a mistake, you may wind up with a pissed off customer. You may wind up taking a bunch of returns. They may wind up costing you money in some way or another. So you may want to be careful about doing that. You could hypothetically put all your listings on hold or put your inventory down to zero until you get back. But that's really going to harm you in the Amazon rankings. When you run out of inventory, it hurts you in the search rankings. eBay, this is a little bit less important. You can kind of turn all your eBay stuff off for a week, go on vacation, come back, and when you come back and turn them back on, within like 2 days, you're going to rise back up to the top of search results. Amazon, it's more harmful to run out of inventory or turn off your inventory or be away. So you may want to consider sending your stuff into Amazon FBA, and then you don't have to worry about that. Let's see. Next question. Informative upload. How long have you been selling online? I kind of touched on this earlier. All in all, probably about 10 years, seriously, for maybe 3 or 4 years. How long did it take you to see your initial profit? Me and my buddy started our online business back in 2012. I think we started seeing our initial profit pretty much immediately. It wasn't huge. Like I said, we were making about $50 a week, but probably within a matter of days to a week, we were seeing profit. We had a really unique item that not a lot of people had. The margins were fairly good, and it grew pretty quickly. If you're making this much, why are you on Fiverr working for $5 gigs? I think this question, I've talked about this before, I think this question really touches on people's mentality in terms of money. If you have this mentality in terms of money, if you're too good for $5, you're never going to make money. There's an interesting book, I've talked about it before. It's called The Millionaire Next Door, and it basically talks about how most millionaires aren't driving flashy cars. Most millionaires drive like a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry. They live in modest, middle-sized homes. If they see change on the street or a penny on the street, they'll pick it up. Why? Because they value money. Nothing is below them. No amount of money is below them. I hear a lot of people like, oh, it's not worth my time if I'm not making this. Well, everybody has to start somewhere. A lot of people are like, I want to make $10,000 a month. Well, guess what? You're not going to start off making $10,000 a month in your first 30 days. And a lot of people are going to say, well, then it's not worth my time. Well, think about if you were going to run a marathon, are you going to run out and run 26.5 miles on your first run? No, you're probably going to start off with a mile and you're going to slowly build your way up. And it's the same thing with making money online, being an entrepreneur, e-commerce. Also, to anybody turning up their nose at $5, sure, $5 is only $5. It's not going to change your life. But what if you can make $5 100 times in a month? That's $500. Well, that's a lot better, right? My goal with Fiverr is to have a lot of gigs that are somewhat automated so that I'm not having to provide a service for every single gig. I do have some gigs where I do that. Most of the things don't take me a ton of time, but like if I sell a list of hot selling items on Fiverr like I do, I'll update that list every couple weeks, but it's a one-time sitting to update that list, and then I can sell that list to 100 people, make $500, and then I'll add to that list, or I'll add some new products or whatever. If I create a digital course on how to do private labeling or how to find hot selling products for eBay or Amazon, that's one time that I sit down and make it, and even if I'm only selling it for $5, I can sell that to 500 people, and it only cost me one time sitting around. Whereas if I were doing consulting or something like that, I'm having to work with 500 people individually or whatever. But why do I do gigs on Fiverr? I'm a big fan of diversifying my income. I do Fiverr, I do Uplands, eWork. I'm a Kindle publisher. I do affiliate marketing. I sell on eBay. I sell on Amazon. And the reason being, you got to have, when you're self-employed, you got to have multiple revenue streams. It's not like working for somebody else where you can kind of coast by and you're always going to get a paycheck. If I'm not bringing in money, I'm not eating and I'm not paying my rent. So you need to bring in money. And also when you sell on eBay, when you sell on Amazon, these are third-party platforms. You have no control over them. So if eBay decides to, if you're selling on eBay and eBay decides to suspend your account, or if your items start falling in rankings and your eBay income dries up, you're screwed. You have no other money coming in. So I'm a big proponent of don't put all your eggs in one basket, have a lot of things going on. I talk about at one point, probably a year and a half ago, PayPal shut down my PayPal account. I had a very hard time finding other payment processors because some of the items and niches I'm in are considered high risk to merchant processors. So I literally went 4 months without a credit card processor. Well, so I told people, okay, send me a bank wire, send me a cashier's check, send me a money order. Well, guess what? It's not nearly as easy as paying by a credit card. So pretty much my business took about a 98% hit. And I went probably 3 or 4 months before I found a credit card processor willing to take me on. So, that can happen to you as well. Basically, I lost 98% of my business for 4 months. I had almost no money coming in, but I still had my Fiverr stuff going. I still had my digital product selling. So this kind of goes to illustrate why you need a lot of things going on, especially if you're self-employed and don't have a day job as well. But also, if you turn your nose up at $5, you're not somebody who has the right vision and values money, and you're never going to get anywhere. So that's my opinion on that. I'm an American Prime member. Can I buy product on Amazon and then sell it on my website and use their packaging and shipping services? No, you can't. That violates Amazon terms of service. Let me see here. Amazon Prime reseller. Let me find this. Let's see. Using Amazon FBA shipping reseller. I was going to try to find the actual page for you guys, but basically, long story short, you are allowed to use Amazon as a drop shipper if you pay for shipping. You are not allowed to use your Prime account as a reseller. So what a lot of people do is like you said, maybe I put a paracord bracelet on my website. I don't hold any inventory. If somebody comes to buy that paracord bracelet, I then just go on Amazon.com, order the item, and have it sent as a gift to that person's house. I personally don't think this is a good business model because when returns happen, the return doesn't come back to you. It goes back to the original seller. You lose control of your business. You're not controlling when things are shipped out. I have a lot of problems with drop shipping. I don't necessarily mind it to test out new products or something like that. But as a business plan or whatever, I don't really think it's a good one. But as far as this using your Prime, it is against Amazon Prime terms of service to use that shipping service as a reseller because basically you're paying for it to buy items personally. You're not paying for it to give 2-day shipping to everybody who buys items for you. You'd be wasting a ton of money for Amazon. They will recognize it fairly quickly because they realize that you don't have 200 friends and family around the country that you're shipping items to all the time, and they will shut down your Prime account. Don't try it. It's not allowed, and you will get caught, basically, so don't do it. Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, I kind of lost my place. I had to get up and make myself a cup of coffee. I'm getting a sore throat from all this talking. But let's see. Do you mean... Okay, so here's the next question. When you say putting a brand on an item, do you mean one that already exists or make your own brand? So, no, obviously you're not allowed to, slap a Nike label on something and call it Nike because Nike has a trademark and owns that brand. It would be creating your own brand. So, I mean, just for example, let's say here, we'll say silicone baking mat. So I may go buy a silicone baking mat like this, right? Now, as you can see, this is plain. There's no labeling on it or anything. These people, eco-friendly silicone. Let's see what they say in this listing. Sometimes they'll provide example. Okay, so I can't see what that says, but you see how there's printing there? That would be somebody's private label version of that baking mat. Sometimes they'll show some examples of the type of printing and things like that they can do. It doesn't look like they show that here. A lot of times you can tweak these colors. If you want the border to be kind of a feathered border, you could request that. If you want a different color border, you could request that. If you want an image across the middle of here, you could put an image there. If you just want a little image or a signature in the bottom right, you could do that. Difference. Please feel free to choose our store. And a lot of times the sellers don't put that much information in terms of their private labeling or the types of printing you can do and things like that. So it's always good to kind of contact them. But let's just go over to Amazon really quickly. And let's look up silicone baking mat. And I bet you we'll see the same baking mat. So let's also see what the cost was. $5.76. This is crazy high for one piece. Let me go back. $8.03 a piece. I don't know why people are charging so much. I mean, you can sell these things for like $24, but I've actually seen these things for much, much cheaper. Here's one for $3.31. Here's one that kind of shows you how you can print the label. I actually know people who get these things for a lot cheaper, so I think they're pricing these kind of high. But let's go over and look at silicone baking mat. So this is pretty much the same. Oh, this is actually an Amazon Basics brand. So this is actually something Amazon makes themselves. Okay, so here's somebody basically selling the same exact baking mat that we saw here. Obviously, what tells you the price is high is most people on Amazon want to make 3 times their money, which means if I'm paying $8, I want to be selling this for $24. This seller calls their brand Artesian. All they did was, I don't know if they went to Fiverr. They might have gone to Craigslist or Designer. They may be a graphic designer themselves. But they just basically told someone, make me a logo that says Artesian, what does that say, Metalworks, Baking Works, whatever. Somebody made them a logo. They gave it to them in vector file, which is what you need for printing. That means that the file can be made larger or smaller without affecting the quality. They took that vector file, went over to the seller, said, hey, I want to buy 150 of your baking mats. What's the price? The seller will probably say, okay, It's $2.50. If you want to put your logo on it, we're going to charge you $2.55. You have to buy at least 200 units to do this. Okay, they make one sample piece with my brand on here. They send it to me so I can check it out, inspect the quality, make sure I like where the logo is printed. I say, okay, everything looks good to go. Send me 200 units. I pay them either by Western Union, wire transfer, TT, whatever, and then they ship it to me. So that's basically the process of putting your brand on something in a nutshell. I do have some videos where I go into this a little bit more in depth. Is it safe to buy from Alibaba? Yes and no. The reason I recommend AliExpress to a lot of you guys is because they have a buyer protection program. You're able to pay with a credit card, so if you are scammed, you can do a credit card chargeback. Alibaba is a little bit less safe. There are a lot of scammers on there. If anybody, as far as tips for avoiding scams, if anybody asks you to send money MoneyGram or Western Union, it doesn't necessarily make them a scammer. But 3 times over the holiday season, I was scammed out of $500 on 3 separate occasions. All of them were when sending money via Western Union. So I avoid Western Union. Alibaba does have an escrow program where basically you send the money to Alibaba. Alibaba does not release that money to the seller until you basically okay that you got the merchandise and you're happy with it. That's referred to as TT. Some sellers advertise that they take PayPal. Even sellers who don't advertise that they take PayPal will often take PayPal on your first transaction just to kind of build trust with you. Once you do a transaction with them and you're happy, your future orders will probably be by either Western Union or wire transfer. But at that point, you know that the seller is reputable, reliable, and safe. The reason that people don't take PayPal is A, they're typically going to make you pay 5% extra to cover the PayPal fees. And also there's a 1 or 2% conversion fee because basically they need to convert it into Chinese yuan. So plan on paying an extra 4 or 5% if you do pay by PayPal. The other thing, PayPal ties up money for a long time. If you pay them by PayPal, they may not have that money for 30 days or something like that. So that's why they don't like taking that, because they're selling a lot of bulk goods. They work on small margins and they can't afford to have their money tied up. But AliExpress is safer, but it's going to be more expensive. Alibaba is where you're going to be able to private label and where you're going to get the really good deals. But you do need to be a little bit more cautious and kind of know what you're doing. Next question. Some of the suppliers on Alibaba charge quite a steep shipping fee. What do you do in that situation? I'm assuming you're requesting shipment by air and you're finding that it's really expensive. Air shipping is going to be really expensive. It's not that the sellers are charging expensive shipping. That's what shipping costs. Shipping is very expensive. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but if you have watched this whole video, earlier I talked about how much more expensive air shipping is than sea shipping. You're going to have to ship by sea if you're finding that the shipping costs are too expensive. Either that, or you're going to have to take that into account with your product costs. Come on, I can't be the only one at Christmas. Okay. So I think I referenced hoverboards in this video. So this guy said, come on, I can't be the only one. At Christmas, these hoverboards are going to blow up. And when I said that I was kind of predicting the future, I didn't mean blow up as in catch on fire. I meant blow up in popularity. They did. They were the hottest Christmas gift of 2015. But the guy goes on to say, the best part, comparing it to the fire starter, LOL. You should be a damn fortune teller. Awesome video. The only thing we can get a lead on labeling company, or do you purchase it labels from the company you work with? I'm kind of confused by the last part, but the reason I chose this comment, I just wanted to touch on it. It was kind of funny. I said, these hoverboards are really popular. These things are going to blow up around Christmas time if you watch the original video. And I meant blow up in popularity, but the board started catching on fire and blowing up and catching people's houses on fire. So it was kind of funny that how that worked out. What about incorporation? Do you have a company to sell on Amazon, or do you import from China, or can all you do is without any import? Okay, so basically this guy's asking, do I need to incorporate or set up an LLC? You don't have to. A lot of Amazon sellers are sole proprietors. There's a couple reasons that you would want to form a business or form a corporation. One is tax savings. Now, if you're not making big money or if you're not making real money, you're really not going to save much on your taxes. And actually, setting up a business is going to cost you money. You're going to have to pay filing fees to the state. You have to, it makes you jump through more hoops. You're going to have to go get a business bank account, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the reason that it saves you money, I actually set up my business as an LLC. However, we elect to be taxed as an S Corp. What this allows me to do is I have to pay myself what the IRS says is a reasonable salary. So I pay myself a reasonable salary that a full-time person in my position would make. But then the rest of my money I can take out in dividends. Now, dividends are taxed at a lower percentage, and they also are not subject to payroll tax, Social Security, FICA, et cetera, et cetera. It's only income tax. So Basically, I can pay myself a reasonable salary, which is taxed higher, and I have to pay payroll taxes with. I also have to pay into like unemployment insurance and things like that that I'm never going to be able to collect on, which is basically throwing money away. But when I take out dividends, I can take out my dividends at a much lower tax rate. The other benefit to being a business is, let's say I sell dietary supplements and somebody eats my supplement and it gives them an allergic reaction, they get sick and have to go to the hospital. They're going to come sue me, and if I'm a sole proprietor, they're going to be able to take my car, my house, they're going to be able to garnish my wages for the rest of my life. Whereas if you're set up as a business, all somebody can take, as long as you separate your business from your personal stuff, they can only go after the business. So from a liability standpoint, that can be good. If you sell a high risk item, it's not a bad idea getting something called product liability insurance. It's based off how much you sell, but as a new business, it's based off an estimate. It's fairly expensive, but it's well worth it if you sell anything that somebody's going to put on their skin or ingest, or if you sell a product like a hoverboard that somebody could bust their head open riding. In those instances, you probably would want to get product liability insurance and set up a business, incorporate, set up an LLC, etc. Why wasn't this taught to us in schools? I totally agree with you. I think I had one business class in college, but it was kind of a joke. I'm sorry, in high school, but it was kind of a joke. It's kind of funny that this question came up. I'm actually kind of looking into the process of putting together a portfolio of my work. As so many, the economy is getting a lot more freelancers in it. I think they say 40% of people have some type of freelance income coming in, whether that's consulting, selling on eBay, publishing books, etc. Freelancing is becoming a large part of our economy. A lot of people, we don't live in a day anymore where you can go get a job and you're going to be employed for 20 or 30 years and you're going to have a nice retirement to go to and your job's secure. We know that most people change careers, 6 or 7 times in their lifetime. Companies are laying us off the second that it benefits them or they can save a buck. There is no security in working for somebody else. The middle class is disappearing. You're not going to be able to be financially secure just working for somebody else, which is why a lot of people, even if they choose to have a full-time job, are doing some type of freelancing on the side, and a lot of people are choosing to make their full-time income freelancing. So I think this is very, very important now and will become even more important in the coming years. Like I said, I don't know how far I'll get with this, but I was going to try to kind of put together a little lesson plan, a course, a portfolio for myself, and I was going to see if I could start going into schools, kind of teaching people how to make money online, how to make money outside of a job. I actually took a pretty interesting entrepreneurship class in college where a professor had former students who had started businesses come in and talk to us. I think somebody was making board games, another guy started a skydiving company, but they would kind of come in and talk to us and, hey, working for some company isn't your only option. Here's what I did. Here's how you can do it. So I am going to try to, I'd love to start teaching younger people how to start getting into this stuff at a younger age. I really didn't start getting into this stuff until my late 20s. I would have loved to have started getting into this stuff when I was 17, 18, 19 years old. And I find it really impressive that I get a lot of younger people, high school students, college students who are getting into this type of stuff. And one thing I'll mention, I'm not trying to knock anybody, but I get a lot of adults who come to me who have careers, who have educations, and they don't take action. They're like, oh, I want to start making money. I don't know what to do. I've been thinking about this for years, and they never take action. And then I'll get a 16-year-old high school kid who emails me or messages me, and he's like, hey, I ordered some stuff from China. I ran into some mistakes. I got scammed once or twice, but I'm selling. I'm making some money. I'm really excited. And I think it's really cool that young people are really throwing themselves into this and taking action and doing things. So, the education system's kind of screwed up. It is what it is, but I would like to be a part of teaching people how to make money. So, that it's kind of interesting you bring this up. I am looking at doing something like that. Let's see. I have a question. In the video, you stress the importance of customer service like same-day shipping, and you imply that you have personal control over your shipping. But at $250K a month, you would have to be shipping a couple hundred pieces every single day at least. I have a small website that sells industrial parts, and I know what it takes to get dozens of orders out the same day. I can't imagine a couple hundred a day without a big team. How do you do that? People like to whine about how much time it takes to ship. It really doesn't take that much time. Like I said earlier, I had a full-time job working over 60 hours a week, and I was still able to ship out 50 plus packages a day. Yeah, sometimes I stayed up till 2 in the morning and woke up at 6 in the morning to put in another couple hours before I went to work. But if you want to do it, you can. Obviously, Amazon FBA allows you to ship your inventory into them so that they're fulfilling your inventory. Obviously, they take a fee for doing this, but it takes a lot of the workload off you. So that's one thing you can do. You can also use Amazon's multi-channel fulfillment, which means I can sell items on eBay. When somebody orders it from me, I don't actually have to have the physical item. I can go to my Amazon inventory within my Amazon account and have Amazon ship that item to the customer. So that's another way to take the workload off yourself. But I have a business partner. We do this full time. So, I got 8 hours a day in my office to pack and ship items. And we probably ship out 50 plus items a day ourselves, self-fulfillment. Plus, I typically send out 2 to 3 shipments to Amazon FBA per day. And we don't have a huge team. It's myself and my business partner. When he goes on vacation, I do it by myself. When I go on vacation, he does it by himself. So it definitely can be done. It's all about policies, procedures, and processes. If you're running around your office like a chicken with its head cut off and you don't have your parts organized, you don't have your packaging materials organized, it's going to take a lot of time. However, we have things down to an assembly line. I have my products organized well. I have all my packaging materials laid out, and everything just goes right down the line like an assembly line. We do Amazon FBA fulfillment. We do Amazon multi-channel fulfillment, but we also ship and fulfill a lot of products ourselves, and we're able to do it with just 2 of us. I see a person selling used socks on eBay that were listed as worn all day. I couldn't believe these effing bums would actually sell something like this. Hashtag unreal. You know what I think is what I think the listing that you found, people aren't actually buying used socks because they want used socks. I don't know if this was in the eBay mature category, but there's actually kind of like a weird fetish where people buy people's like used underwear and used socks, and I don't know what they do with them, sniff them, hang them on their wall, whatever. But I think that's what that listing is about. People don't really want used socks. This really has nothing to do with nothing, but I just thought it was kind of a funny and interesting comment, so I thought I'd share, and that's why people are selling that. This guy says DHgate is more protected. Free shipping to your door. You can pay them by credit, debit card, or PayPal. Alibaba is good, but the shipping cost is a killer, not to mention if you send the money and it disappears. Personally, I would disagree with you. I actually just recently had I got my money back and everything, but I had a guy try to pull a scam. Basically, I ordered $600 worth of products from him. All of a sudden, he tells me, "Oh, I'm out of that product." Well, it's okay. Well, I don't want anything then. Cancel it and refund me. Okay, I'll give you that product, but it's going to be an extra $390. So I got pissed off, right? Don't put up a listing at a certain price and then try to upsell me and make me pay another $400 for it. I said, no, give me my money back. We went back and forth fighting. Then he offered me a different product, still for more money. I said no. He said he would refund me, but he wanted me to change the reason for the refund, and I no longer needed the item. The reason being is because his account would have been penalized for basically putting up BS listings. I refused to change the reason. It wound up taking about a month and a half, but I finally got my money back. AliExpress is similar to DHgate. Most of the time it's free shipping. They have buyer protection. You can use your credit card. Alibaba is good. I agree. Alibaba is where you're going to private label. It's where you're going to get better pricing. You say shipping cost is a killer. You probably just need to educate yourself a bit more about shipping costs. If you're ordering 10 items, it's probably not worth ordering off Alibaba, but if you're ordering large quantities and you can ship by sea and you learn how to navigate that process, it's actually going to be a lot cheaper, and you're going to get your products a lot cheaper than DHgate. DHgate is a business-to-consumer website. You can make money with it, but Alibaba is really where you want to go for larger orders and private labeling. If I see 2 of the exact same products on eBay or Amazon, one with the brand logo and another with no brand, I would definitely buy the cheaper one with no logo. Who cares about a logo? So some people agree with you. Some people shop at Aldi and they don't care about name brands and they like saving money. And other people will go to a Jewel Osco or a Target and pay more money for brand names. A lot of times, even in the grocery industry, the branded half and half or creamer is the same exact stuff as the other stuff, but a lot of people are willing to pay 2 to 3 times the price for a brand name. The one thing I will say about brand names is the quality of products ordered from China or imported from China varies. So somebody who has a private label, they're going to want to keep up their reviews and the reputation of their product. So they're going to be really good about quality control. Somebody who's selling a generic product, they really don't have a name to maintain, so they may not be as careful about quality control. So though you may be getting the same exact product, generic, as opposed to one that's private labeled, typically the private labeler will have a better hold on the quality control. So that may be why a lot of people choose to order from them. A lot of people just like brand names, but different people have different consumer behavior. Some people are all about saving money and other people are very brand conscious. So just thought it was an interesting comment, but some people will go with the cheaper thing, but some people will pay more for a private label. But is just putting a brand on it legal? I've kind of touched on this. We'll just be real brief on this one. Yes, it's legal. You can't put the name Nike or Reebok on your product, but if you make up your own brand name and your own logo and nobody has that else trademarked, yes, you can do that. There's a product on Alibaba. It is a Nike wristband. The guy links to it. I was considering buying 1,000 pieces. Don't do it. No Nike stuff on Alibaba is actually Nike. It's counterfeit. You will probably have Nike trying to sue you, and you will have your Amazon and eBay account suspended. Great video. Where can I get my label slapped on the rest of the product? So I've kind of talked about this in depth, but it's not as if there's a third-party service who's going to put labels on products that you buy from China. It's actually the manufacturers or the Alibaba sellers who are going to put the label on the product for you. And I do mention one shortcut to private labeling is like with hoverboards. Some people who couldn't afford to buy 100 units for $15,000 or whatever, $20,000, $30,000, would buy 5 or 10 hoverboards at a time. They would get their own vinyl decals made locally and just slap their own vinyl decals on the product. Some of them would get their own boxes or packaging materials made up. So if you can't afford, or if you're not ready to order a large quantity of pieces to get them private labeled, as I talked about earlier, go to AliExpress, buy 10 pieces, but locally get your own custom packaging made and ship that generic product out in your own custom packaging. Once you grow the business to where you can afford to buy more units, then you go to Alibaba and actually private label it. How do you sell that kind of money on eBay, Amazon, etc.? I think kind of everything I've been talking about in this video kind of touches on that. Quality listings, private labeling, bundling items, eBay SEO, Amazon SEO, etc. I'm going to start kind of blowing through these questions because my throat's killing me and we're already at an hour and a half, guys. So this market is saturated. I don't know which market you're talking about. We covered about 15 products in this video. Typically, like I said, anybody who says a market is saturated just can't figure out how to make money themselves. If you're talking about something like paracord bracelets, go sell an autism paracord bracelet. Go sell a breast cancer paracord bracelet. Bundle a paracord bracelet with a fire starter and call it a survival pack. Think outside the box. That's the only way you're going to make money. What's your profit on 250K? Don't mean S if you're not having a great ROI. It really varies. I don't consistently make 250K a month. Some months maybe 150, some months maybe 250, some months maybe 260. I sell a lot of different product categories. Certain times, certain products sell more than others. Some products have better margins than others. I would say typically anywhere from 15 to 35K on a $250,000 month. A lot of that money gets reinvested into the business, but I mean, obviously there's a lot of costs. There's inventory costs, there's eBay and Amazon fees, there's advertising fees. You take a lot of losses, whether it be chargebacks, lost packages, etc., packaging materials. But I would say minimum 12, on the high end 40. Let's see, on to the next question. I also checked some stats on some of the products you listed in this video, and the market is either completely dead or dominated by Amazon. For example, the folding credit card knife, dead on Amazon, and fire starters are dominated by Amazon listings. I don't know what you mean by Amazon listings. If you're referring to Amazon FBA items, there seems to be some confusion. A lot of people think anything sold by FBA is actually sold by Amazon. No, people like you and me can send items into Amazon fulfillment, and it's able to sell FBA. I'm kind of confused by this question, but Firestarter, a lot of these products, there's a lot of competition. A lot of people on the first page have hundreds of feedbacks, and it's going to be hard to catch up with them. But again, I go back to either private label, bundle items, etc. These products are definitely not dead. I could pull some analytics right now and show you that $30,000 worth of folding knives are being sold every month on eBay or Amazon. But I will agree with you that there's a stiff competition and it is hard to break in on some of these products. If I buy on AliExpress and send directly to the customer, will the customer know that I am drop shipping? I kind of already covered this. Most customers aren't going to wait the 3 weeks that your item takes to arrive to them from China, so most customers are going to be upset. For this reason, I do not recommend drop shipping from AliExpress. Also, unless you can get a seller who's willing to not include a packing slip in with the product, they may or may not know that you're drop shipping it for them. For example, a lot of people use Amazon as a drop shipper and they send it as a gift so that there's no pricing information or whatever. AliExpress, they typically do send packing slips. So If you did want to do this, you would have to tell the seller, look, please don't include a packing slip. Reason being because if the seller gets a packing slip that says you bought the item for $10 and you resold it to them for $19.95, they're going to be kind of annoyed with you. So that's why that's a bad idea. You could hypothetically tell the AliExpress seller, look, please don't include packing slips in my orders. Whether they do listen to you or not is another ballgame. But no buyer is going to wait 3 weeks to receive the items, and you're going to get a lot of negative feedback, so don't do it. Where do we get Amazon Warehouse's address? There's no single address. Amazon has warehouses all across the country. Yesterday when I was sending in FBA items, I think I sent one shipment to Washington, D.C., I sent another one to Tennessee, and I sent another one to California. Every time you ship stuff into Amazon, depending on where they need inventory, they're going to have you send it into a different warehouse. So it's not until you actually start your FBA shipment that you find out where it's going to be sent to. There's no one address to send it into. I am not getting those bracelets that cheap. I have not seen it in cents but dollars. I just ordered 4 paracord bracelets for $6 each. You got ripped off, my friend. I'm sorry. I think I responded to your question. I'm sorry. Let's see. AliExpress. So I'm not sure what paracord bracelet he's referring to, but let's see here. Paracord bracelet. And then we're going to go free shipping. And we're going to search low to high. Okay, so here's a paracord bracelet for 71 cents. And these aren't just plain black ones. They come in different designs. So right off the bat, unless yours is really intricate, I'm not sure why you would pay $6 a bracelet when there's 71 cents a piece right here. The other thing, if we go over to Alibaba, we can get them even cheaper. Here we can find them 50 cents a piece. Here they had $2. 50 cents a piece. And this is kind of a more complicated one. If we find like a really basic 65 cents a piece, $2.29. I mean, prices are all over the place. You really got to shop around. I mean, here's bracelets. This isn't a paracord bracelet, but 9 cents a piece. The best price I think I have found was 16 cents a piece for paracord bracelets. You know, on AliExpress, you can exact prices in Alibaba, but they're going to give you a price range. 80 cents a piece, 79 cents a piece, 68 cents a piece. Okay, so here we find them for 40 cents a piece. So here they're going to make you buy 200 pieces, but you can get them for 40 cents a piece, which you could buy 200 pieces and still come in almost cheaper than paying $6 a bracelet. So search around for prices. I think you overpaid. Take it as a learning lesson. You're not out on too much money. You're out $24. But in the future, if you want to order small quantities, here's some for 71 cents. If you want to order large quantities, here's some for 40 cents. I've actually, on like 500 piece orders, actually got them down to like 18 cents with 4.5 cents for private labeling. Next question. Like I said, guys, I'm going to start breezing through. So why don't you show products that you are selling here in your videos instead of other people's? If you don't think the market will ever get saturated, like I said, I'm not going to share all my secrets with you guys. I feel like I share a lot of good information, and I do share a lot of products that I actually sell myself. As far as why I don't share my own listings, well, then you guys see all my seller accounts and things like that. And not only will people copy the same products that I'm selling, but people will start to copy my listings and things like that. And I'm not basically looking to handle, I'm willing to help you guys. I'm not willing to turn over the keys of the palace to you, so to speak. I feel I provide a lot of good information. I provide this information completely free of charge. And I don't mind people coming to compete with me, but here's why I don't do it. Once I start selling a product and I'm able to build up feedback and things like that, I'm going to dominate the marketplace. However, when I first roll out a product, if you guys started watching the new products that I sell all the time, if I find some new product that has no competition and you guys see that right off the bat, you guys can start competing with me essentially from day one, and we're on a level playing field in terms of building feedback. When I find a product that has little to no competition, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up on inventory. I'm going to start giving out tons of free inventory to start building up reviews. And within a week or two of selling that product, I'm going to have 200 or 300 reviews, and you're not going to be able to catch me. But if you see right from the get-go the new products that I'm selling, well, then you can order them with me. And you're basically starting off with a level playing field. I still feel like I'm going to be able to outperform most people. But until I've kind of built up a head start to where it's harder for people to catch me, I really don't want people knowing what products I sell. On AliExpress, you can buy in Can you buy in bulk and get a cheaper discount? Yes. Let's see here. You'll typically see it'll say bulk discount. So here's one for 96 cents a piece. Let's see if these guys got a... Okay, bulk price. So it's 96 cents a bracelet. Additional 5% off if you buy 5 or more pieces. And if you're going to be ordering an even larger quantity than that, you can always come down here and either contact the seller or chat now with the seller and say, hey, look, I'm interested in ordering 100 pieces. Can you do any better on price? And typically they will. If you want to start getting really large quantities, come over to Alibaba. That's where you're going to get the best prices. Hey, nice video. I'm interested in doing this. One question, how do you put your logo on those items? What's the name of the process? The Alibaba suppliers will often refer, I've kind of touched on this a few times, they'll refer to it as OEM, or, they'll list the ways that they can print your logo, screen printing, laser engraving, etc. It's the manufacturers who are going to do it for you. Contact some sellers on Alibaba, let them know you're interested in private labeling or OEM, and they'll kind of walk you through the process. You will need to get your own logos made and things like that, though. I wonder, what is the extra cost for having a product label with my own logo? Depends on the product, the complexity of your logo, whether it's being embossed, debossed, engraved, screen printed, etc. On something like a paracord bracelet, about 4.5 cents you need to add to every piece of inventory. So if I'm buying a product for 20 cents, it's going to cost me 24.5 cents after I put my logo on it. Hello RFR, good video, thanks. I'm going to prove you right by entering this channel of commerce. The most difficult part is to make the right selection of products. I totally agree. As the market is incredibly crowded and it is difficult to convince yourself that anyone will see your products, even less buying them. Before I contact you directly for support, do you consider going to one of the China industrial fairs they put on? You know what? I would love to go to China. I've never been there. Right now, I just don't have the time to head over there. There's a few trade shows in the U.S. and Canada throughout the year. I think in June there's a trade show in Miami where basically all the Alibaba sellers are going to be coming over to Miami. You'll be able to meet them in person. You'll be able to see their products. So for those of you guys who either don't have the funds or you have families and can't get away, or for whatever reason, if you can't make it to China, there's a lot of trade shows in like Miami, maybe Atlanta, Vancouver, and Las Vegas, as well as California, where you can meet with a lot of these suppliers without going all the way to China. But I would love to go to one of these trade shows in China or go to one of their mega malls. I think that would be really cool. So your product is exactly the same as the generic made products, just with a brand on it. Wouldn't customers notice that the quality is the same as a generic brand? I wanted to start a private label clothing company, but I don't want to brand cheap products per se. Everyone knows generic t-shirt manufacturers. How do I get higher quality products? So most buyers are not going to be buying two of the same items. So it's not as if somebody's going to buy a generic product and my product and be like, wow, these look the same. I do feel like most private labelers who are responsible at what they do are going to provide a higher quality product than the generic sellers. There is a big variance in the quality of Chinese manufactured products. Think about hoverboards, for example. Some of them are catching on fire and some are completely safe. It's all about the materials and the components that they're using, as well as the attention to detail and how well it's being manufactured. Like the IOHawk hoverboard, it's the exact same hoverboard. The one that they sell for $1,500 is the exact same hoverboard that some other sellers are selling for $200. Where private labeling, I think, gets better quality is because if I create a private label or a brand, I'm going to want, like, you're a perfect example here. You say, look, I want to start a private label, but I don't want to sell crap. Well, exactly, you have the right frame of thought. Why? Because you want your name to be associated with quality, not with crap. So what are you going to do? You're going to search out and find the best supplier with the highest quality, and you're going to inspect all your merchandise every time you get a sample order to make sure everything's all good. Somebody who doesn't have a private label is probably just going to order crap willy-nilly. They don't really care about the quality because they don't have a name to stand behind. And one of their shipments may be great. The next shipment may be crappy. Their Amazon reviews are going to reflect that. Whereas you have a private label that you want to stand behind, so you're going to make sure you only get the highest quality items. And that's why private label stuff is often better quality. This guy hasn't included shipping costs. Sure, it's 14 cents, but shipping to buy a full carton of 1,000 pieces up to $3.50 on Alibaba. Shipping only, so 49 cents at least. I checked Amazon, eBay competition is tough. So basically, again, people are getting way too hung up on shipping costs. there is no way it costs $350 to ship 1,000 paracord bracelets to the U.S. It's absolutely ridiculous, and you're getting ripped off if that's the shipping price you're being quoted. I mean, I get a box of 400 units of a product. It's like an electronic component. It's basically like a little wire harness. They probably weigh a couple ounces a piece, but I get a box of 200 of these shipped to me. It takes about 3 days to get to me, and it cost me $49. So shipping 1,000 paracord bracelets, I could probably get shipped for under $40. I don't really know where you're coming up with this $350 figure. Also, it's always cheaper to ship by sea than to ship by air. A lot of people don't want to take the time to learn about how to negotiate customs, how to get freight forwarders to deliver your stuff. So many people just opt to go by air, but air shipping is going to cost you a fortune, and that's probably why you're getting high shipping fees. Where exactly do you get private labeling for 5 cents? Again, I'm not saying it's always going to be 5 cents. For smaller products, it's normally about 4.5 cents. There's not a place that you go get item private labeled. It's actually the manufacturer who you're buying from will do OEM, or will put your product name on the labels, and typically they charge me about 4.5 cents. For larger logos or for more detailed, like if it's engraved instead of screen printed, it may wind up costing you more, like 7 cents, 8 cents, 12 cents. According to my friend that works for eBay servers and hardware end, he says that peak traffic is pre-Sunday afternoon. I've had lots of success during this time, but I only do buy it now. Let's go over to Terapeak. So, you can't, I do agree, like overall, Sunday afternoon may be a great time for selling stuff. Here, for this product, for paracord bracelets, it's actually Saturday that's the best day. For watermelon slicers, I think it's Monday that's the best day, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so for watermelon slicers, Thursdays are the best time. Some products may sell better in the morning, some may sell better in the evening. So this is where Terapeak is so valuable, because you could say, okay, overall eBay products sell best on Sunday afternoons. Let's see if we look up a gaming mouse pad. These are those really long extended mouse pads for people who are into like role-playing games and stuff like that. Look at the time when most people buy is 11 p.m. to 12 p.m. at night. So think about it. Different products are going to appeal to different people, and different people are up at different times. So if we were to look up baby products, we're going to see a big product spike from, say, 10 in the morning to 12 in the morning. Why? A lot of moms maybe take their baby to swimming class, to daycare. Maybe they put their baby down for a nap, and that's when they have time to shop. So for mom-type products, probably late morning's the best time to sell. If you guys know people who play video games, a lot of times they stay up till 3, 4 in the morning playing video games. So as we see here, late at night is a better time to sell. So depending on the niche of the product and type of people it appeals to, you're going to find different days of the week and different times that they sell better. How much money do you recommend putting up to start a business? This is kind of personal preference. If you're brand new, I wouldn't invest too much. A lot of times I'll order 5 pieces, 10 pieces, 20 pieces, 50 pieces to start out. I'll see if I have success. I don't like leaping into a new product category, shelling out a ton of money, because if that product fails, and there's really, we can use Terapeak, we can do a little bit of drop shipping. There's ways that we can test a market before investing in it. But until you actually start selling, you don't really know how well an item's going to sell. I have a buddy who just recently ordered $15,000 of a new product. He's being very secretive about what it is, but he doesn't even have an Amazon account set up yet. And in my opinion, this is kind of foolish. He's selling in a gated category, so he may not even be allowed to sell his product on Amazon, but he's got $15,000 worth of inventory coming in. So what's he going to do if that winds up happening to him? Well, he's probably either going to come crying to me, can you please help me sell this product? Or he's going to be trying to sell it on eBay, which it may or may not sell for the price that he thinks. Or he may set up his own Shopify website, but now he finds that it's a big challenge to drive traffic, and it's really costly to drive traffic with paid traffic. So I typically recommend starting off as small as possible. To a lot of new people, I recommend starting off doing drop shipping. Affiliate marketing, because that's a way to kind of test, can I drive traffic? Can I drive sales? If you can sell a product for somebody else, well, then maybe there's a good chance that you can sell that product for yourself as well. But I normally start off, I really like focusing on cheap items like under $1 that I can sell for $10, $12, $14, $20. And, I can order 20 pieces of inventory to test the market. If it flops, I'm out $20. If it does good, well, then on my next order, I order 100. If that does good on my next order, I order 500. If that does good and sells out on my next order, I order 1,000. So that's kind of how that goes. I love how quick people are to criticize. All of his info may not be 100% correct, and there may be a few mistakes in the video, but it's a great idea and easy way to make money. I have actually bought stuff from one of the marketers he showed and bought the same thing on AliExpress. I didn't know I was buying the exact same one, but it was. I paid $19.95 for a paracord kit from the Friendly Swede. Later, I found one on Ali for $1.99, and it was the exact same kit. So this isn't a question so much as somebody just kind of validating what I'm saying here. So thank you, Magic Ghost. BS, many people ship the same day and fast. I feel like this is some sort of scam to get people to sign up. What am I trying to get people? You know, a lot of people like talking crap. There's no way you can see something 30% higher price just because you ship fast. That makes no sense. Hoder, my friend, is incorrect here. By shipping fast, you're going to get better seller metrics. By getting better seller metrics, you're going to rank higher in eBay or Amazon, and by ranking higher in eBay or Amazon, you're going to sell more products. Like I said, no lie, I sold a product for $129 or $139 that other people were selling for $90, $95, $100, and I made up 90% of all sales in my category. And it's more than just, hey, I ship same day, so I'm going to kill the market. Like, no, I mean, we're taking into consideration, I'm putting up high quality listings, maximum number of pictures, describing my listings well. I'm shipping same day. I'm providing stellar seller support and customer service. And I know eBay SEO and Amazon SEO. Most people don't go beyond the first page. So if I'm selling something for $150, there may be somebody on the second page of eBay or Amazon selling that same product for $100, but most people aren't going to look to the second page to find them, so they're going to buy mine, and that's how I'm able to sell higher. Hoder is completely incorrect, and I mean, it's illustrated by the example of the Friendly Swede selling a bracelet for $19 that somebody else is selling for $2. Forget all this crap. eBay, Amazon, it's just BS. They only allow big guys to sell on their platforms. Don't trust anyone who makes these claims. You know, people act as if I have something to gain by telling you guys to do this stuff. Like, though I am trying to get into selling courses and stuff, I'm not pitching anything to you guys in this video. You know, there's no incentive for me to get you. If you guys want to sell, sell. If you guys don't want to sell, don't sell. But I gain nothing by providing this information to you guys. So I don't know why everyone's like, oh, don't trust anyone. Also, it's complete BS that only big guys can sell stuff. Like, you know, sure, there are big companies selling on eBay and Amazon, but I mean, just read the comments from my videos. A lot of you guys watching these videos yourself know that you're selling and you're having success on eBay and Amazon. So it's complete nonsense to say that only big corporations can make money on these platforms. Alibaba business is great, but from my experience, their affiliate business is a scam and dangerous. Just buying from them is safe, but do not try to send them traffic or their affiliate. You will never get a dime. You know, I have to disagree with this. I apologize if you had a bad experience. Maybe I'm not sure why your stuff isn't converting. Basically, you can drive traffic to Alibaba all day long, but in order for you to get paid, somebody doesn't have to make a purchase, but they have to contact a supplier. So you may drive 10,000 visitors a month, but if none of these visitors actually contact a supplier and open up an inquiry, you're not going to get paid. The Alibaba affiliate program is completely different than the AliExpress affiliate program. The AliExpress affiliate program, they just recently changed their cookies from 30 days to session-based. This is actually really bad for affiliates, but that's different than the Alibaba affiliate program. People have to actually contact a supplier. So let me pause this video, and I'm going to show you the back end of my AliExpress dashboard. Okay, guys, so here is the back end of my AliExpress dashboard. When I first started doing AliExpress, I was killing it. I think my first month I made about $800. For about the next 3 to 4 months, I was doing $500-600 a month. Ever since AliExpress changed to a session-based cookie, my sales have really suffered. So last month I only made $69 on this account. Oh no, I apologize. My current account balance is $69. Last month I made $95. This month we're about 2 weeks into the month and I made only $39. If we go over to look at my payment center, I got a payment. As far as recent payments, I think it's not going up. We're only going back to May. That's not right. Oh, you know what? My account where I did hoverboards is a separate affiliate account. But January I had a payout of $461. That was 1 month. February $293. March I had a payout of $178. They do charge a $15 processing fee every time you cash out. But I mean, these ones have successfully hit my bank account. I have been paid. I can confirm that they do pay out. What's my current account balance? I don't think I got very much in here. Oh, they're not even showing. You know, you guys can see traffic report, all this, but actually let's look at my traffic report. So, you know, sessions, cookies, page views, etc. Order income report. Let's see. So I think this is just for the last, this is like for the last month. I've had 189 clicks, 4,000 page views, 74 orders. You know, that's my conversion rate. There's my estimated commission. Here you can tell what's coming from text ads, banner ads, and dynamic ads. And here we can see live orders. So I can actually see what people are ordering. Somebody ordered Flint bracelets, credit card knives, compression, basketball, socks, etc. Like I said, for those of you guys who don't understand cookies, when somebody clicks one of my ads, let's go to one of my websites here. Hoverboardfaq.blogspot.com. So if somebody were to come here, and if somebody were to click, do I have any? Okay, so here's an Alibaba banner. Somebody clicks that. It used to be, even if somebody closes out this browser and says, oh, I'll come back and shop for dresses later. If they leave and then they come back to AliExpress, and they buy something, even if it's not a dress, they could buy a phone charger or something like that, I'm going to get paid 8% commission on that sale. However, AliExpress has gone to a session-based cookie, which means, let's kind of go back through the scenario. Oh, that's an ad. Let's see here. Somebody comes back here and clicks. You know, I don't even have any AliExpress ads running right now. But let's say hypothetically somebody comes back and clicks one of these ads, and they're taken to AliExpress.com. If they're like, oh, you know, this is a cool shirt. Oh, I don't have my credit card with me. I can't order right now. I'll come back and order later. As soon as they close out that browser, I'm no longer going to get a commission on that sale. So the AliExpress affiliate program has gotten better in that sense. But the only thing I can think of here, I've gotten paid out by both Alibaba and AliExpress. I think the problem that you're having is that you're driving a lot of traffic, but people aren't converting into, it doesn't even have to convert into a sale, but people aren't inquiring with vendors, which is why you're not getting your $3 payment or whatever that is. Okay, big problem you may run into with drop shipping is the time it takes AliExpress sellers to ship out the item. So basically they're commenting, I told you guys about this earlier, a lot of these sellers don't ship for 3 days or 7 days. And even after it ships, it's going to take, you know, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the item to arrive to you. Never once in this video did I recommend that people drop ship. I highly recommend that you do not try to use Alibaba or any Chinese suppliers as a drop shipper, nor am I even really a big fan of drop shipping in general as a business model. So for that reason, I would say you're exactly right. I never told people to drop ship, but this is exactly why you don't want to drop ship from AliExpress or Alibaba. I go full-time into it. If I go full-time into it, can I automate my business model? Yes, you can. You can do Amazon FBA. Also, if you choose to set up a Shopify store or something like that, there's all types of great apps that can help you automate the accounting, automate order fulfillment, all that type of stuff. So you can do Amazon FBA. You can also use Amazon's multi-channel fulfillment. So you could set up like a Shopify store. When somebody comes and buys something from your Shopify store, you don't physically have to ship out an item. You can turn around right to Amazon and use multi-channel fulfillment to have your Amazon FBA inventory shipped to that customer. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to automate this business model. I think we're almost done here. What's the difference between AliExpress and Alibaba? I'm not going to answer this question as I already touched on it. I also have a great video which is about an hour long and goes very in depth describing the differences. And guys, it looks like that's a wrap, man. My throat is killing me. I'm going to have a sore throat for the rest of the day. I apologize if I kind of breezed through some of this stuff, but we're closing in on 2 hours of constant talking. My throat's killing me. And we've breezed through a lot of information here, but this how I do $250,000 a month selling AliExpress and Alibaba products on eBay or Amazon. This is probably my most popular video, and this is something that really kind of got my channel popular, and I've gotten a lot of questions about it. I think I was maybe a little bit too brief on some things in the video and didn't answer some questions or didn't go into as much depth or as much detail on some of these topics as I wanted to. So I just kind of wanted to make a follow-up video answering some of your guys' questions and comments and going into further detail on this stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I really appreciate you guys watching. You guys are what makes this channel possible. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please feel free to share this video with your friends, your family, share it on social media. If you're not subscribed to my channel, click to the bottom left of this video and you will be able to subscribe and you'll be notified of all my new videos. And as always, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. I try to respond to all my comments, and I'm pretty sure as long as your comment doesn't get caught by the fraud filter, I really do respond to literally every single comment and question that comes in here. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you have any more questions, just leave them below. I try to address everything. And stay tuned, guys. I have some more great videos coming out. We'll be talking about Amazon merch and my new little t-shirt line and t-shirt business that I set up. We're going to be getting into some more Terapeak stuff later this week. And if you guys have any suggestions for videos you want to see, again, just leave a suggestion, and I would be more than happy to make a video touching on that. So hopefully I answered most of the questions that you guys had about this really popular video that I had up. But if anybody has any more questions, feel free to watch it. And if you haven't watched the original video, I will link to it in the description box below. I'll also link to where you guys can get a free trial to Terapeak. Thanks again for watching, guys. Rules for Rebels here checking out, and we'll talk to you guys next time.